I am here to talk to you about smart scales and the fact that I don't think they're that smart. I've had my Renpho, Morpho, Novo now for a little over a month, and I'm having troubles with that thing because depending on how hydrated I am, my numbers are all over the place. Um, for example, yesterday my H2O was 129.4, and that came back with a visceral fat of 1 and a subcutaneous fat of 5.7. Now, the day before, my H2O was 103, and I came back with a visceral fat of 18.7 and subcutaneous of 5.7. So those are completely different numbers, and it all depended on how much water I have. So those of you out there with smart scales, would you do me a favor, and if you're, whatever time you're doing your measurement, on one day, go in kind of waterlogged. In other words, drink a lot of water, come in saturated, and do a measurement. And the next day, come in a little dehydrated and do a measurement, and see if your numbers for everything are so far off that it makes it kind of hard to figure out. I would assume that these companies should be able to figure out percentages of everything else by some kind of algorithm that takes in account how hydrated or dehydrated you are. I'm not sure, but I think they're just doing some kind of strange little algorithm. An example might be like if you had 10 pounds of total weight and 2 pounds of that was fat and the rest was water, and you got in, so that would give you 20% fat. And then if you lose 5 pounds of water, so then you've got 2 pounds of fat in 5 pounds of total liquid, which would be 40% fat. So you've doubled your fat by cutting your liquid in half. I think that's the algorithm they're using. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Please try some kind of experiment like this, because then where one day you're hydrated and you take a measurement, and the next day you're not hydrated and you take a measurement, and see if you get the same kind of bonky results, which means that even trends are going to be hard to follow unless you stay with the same level of hydration every time you measure. So this is a warning I've got out there for you guys, and see if you get the same kind of things. If hydration is the key to screwing up or making all your numbers really good. If you want your numbers to look good, come in with a whole lot of water in your system, because everything else will go lower according to what I'm finding. So this is just my subjective report, but I'd like to see what you guys are finding out there to see if you have the same thing. And like I said, you keep watching and I'll keep posting, and I think the smart scales are not as smart as they let out to be. All right, thank you. Bye.